Mr. Otto here again, and this video will help you create another student requested 3D printable part. This will be the creeper from Minecraft. So I had some students say they wanted me to model a creeper for them, so I had to look that up. They said it was from Minecraft, so found this on Thingiverse, so I got a basic idea what the geometry should look like. So I found this image here also. So I think just looking at this, we're going to go with something real simple like this. But after watching this video, you might try to expand on this. But we'll kind of create this central column here and then put a kind of a cubic shape on top and cut that out and then put some legs on it and we'll be done. So I'll go to my home screen and start a new part here, start a sketch. And this time I'm going to create it on the XZ plane just for fun. And we need to kind of create some scaling ideas here. So I'm going to make this this center portion here that looks pretty much it's a little rectangular, but maybe ½ inch deep and let's say inch and a half uh, tall there. And we can change some of this, but so I'm just going to kind of do a maybe let's say if it's ½ inch deep, so I'll do 0.5 and then let's make it was wider than it was deep, so we'll make it 0.75 wide. Okay, I got that. I'll hit E to extrude. We'll bring that up let's say 1.5 inches. Okay, that looks about right, but we can change that later. We'll say okay. Now on top of that, I'm gonna create another sketch. Okay, and if I look back here, the head is clearly bigger in this direction, um, but it's pretty cubic there also. So, and it kind of is flush with both sides. So with that kind of information, I'm going to project the geometry here so I can grab a hold of it. And I'm going to kind of rough in a rectangle or a cube essentially. So we're 0.75. Yeah, so let's make this 0.75 by 0.75 because it does look cubic. Now we're going to use some constraints here. So I'll use the horizontal constraint to make, oh, okay, that didn't quite work like I expected to, probably because of the plane. So we'll try it this way here. Take the midpoint and the midpoint there. Okay, so that got that. So the reason it worked like that instead of the other way was because of the plane choice. So if you chose the same plane that I did, we'll actually use the vertical constraint instead of the horizontal constraint. You can ask me why or just try that. Now I'm going to extrude that up, and we want a cube, so I want to extrude that 0.75 inches. And let's make sure we get all of it there. Okay, all right, this is looking kind of close to what I think we wanted here. Yeah, all right. So go back to here and we're going to put the face of the creeper on here. So looking back to my sample, it's got kind of two boxes and then kind of a really cubey frown looking thing. So we'll do the eyes first. And so let's do rectangle here. I'm just gonna kind of rough this in. We want to make them, actually, why don't I do this? I'm going to put a little line here so we can get a symmetry, and I'm just going to draw this line down. I'll show you a new trick here. I'll hit escape, right click, and construction, and now I'm going to mirror this. So I'll drag a box over it, that geometry. I'll click mirror line and say apply, and it's going to flip it over. That way I'm completely symmetrical. So that's a little mirror technique for you. I'll hit done. I'll hit E to extrude. Now I'm going to cut these in. So extrude, change my direction. Way too far. Let's make it 0.25 inches. Grab this other one here. Oh. Extrude. There we go. select both of them and cut them back in 1/4 of an inch, and now I'll create another sketch here on this space for the geometry for the mouse. So again, I'm going to use the center line here just to kind of give me some layout ability, and I'll escape out of that and right click and say construction, just so that that doesn't try and extrude that. And now I'll look back at my sample here, so kind of a nose frown kind of look here, so we'll try and rough that in. So we'll say something like, and I'm going to use that mirror technique again here to get some symmetry, and I don't have this memorized, so that's why I'm going back and forth, but we'll go down a little bit, come out and down, and then we'll come over. Okay, up a little bit. Okay, and now I'll use mirror again, and I'm just going to drag a box, so click down and to the right. I'll mirror all that over this line and say apply. Now it's got that. I'll hit E, done, and then E to extrude. Let's see if we get that the opposite direction. If we get something that looks like, okay, so I got a little too far down there, and I don't want to cut that all the way off, so I'm going to hit the back button, and then I'm going to just go into my sketch here and just trim off. Let's see, I'll just trim this off right around there, and do the same thing on the other side. And you can see it's snapping to those points, and I'm going to hit X to trim. We'll just trim this extra stuff off here. Alright, now E to extrude. Now let's try it back the other way. Okay, alright, so now we've got, it looks like kind of a creeper here. Alright, we're going to put some legs on it here. So looking back at the example, we got kind of 2 legs here, and they're pretty rectangular again. So I'm going to create a sketch on this bottom plane, and then we're going to take a rectangle, and I'm going to just go just a little inside here. We're just going to make a guess for how big this should be. Oh, okay, so that's almost 0.75 there, so we'll take that, and 0.45, alright. And then again, for symmetry purposes, I'm going to draw a line from the midpoint here, which is going to be my green dot. Doesn't matter how far it is. I'm going to hit escape, right click, construction, and then we'll mirror this over this line. Okay, say done, and extrude it. Okay, let's get a little bit better perspective. We definitely need to go down a little further. Okay, we'll take a look at our, maybe too far with that one. So you make your best judgment there, but that looks okay to me. Alright, so we've got that, and that is our creeper. So good time to save it. Check out the video on how to create an STL file, submit that, and we'll print it for you. If you were interested, we could maybe change the, see if we can find a green in here. Oh, I don't see a green, maybe a, let's see, so if we select all this over here, maybe we can find something that's greenish colored, light green one. Okay, alright, there's my green, and it's my creeper, so good time to save, and send me an STL file for that, and I will print it. So hopefully you like this video. Let me know if you've got any questions.